Будем растягивать.
Будем, брат.
Удовольствие.
No.
10 seconds. 5 seconds left. Radiant's turn to pick.
Elder Titan.
Seconds. 5 seconds left. Radiant pick.
Treant Protector.
10 seconds. 5 seconds left. Pick.
Brood mother.
10 seconds. 5 seconds left. Dyer's turn to ban.
Morphling.
10 seconds. 5 seconds left. Radiant's turn to ban. It's Radiant's ban now. It's Dyer's ban now. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left. Dyer's turn to pick. Ten seconds. 5 seconds Radiant's left. Turn to pick.
Owl Devourer.
10 seconds. 5 seconds left.
Sky Raft.
Choose your hero. Ten seconds. 5 seconds left.
Hello. Welcome to TI12, upper bracket. Suns fan here with Cinderin. Good friend. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm ready. You know, I was thinking to myself, it's so exciting. Thank you very much. It's so exciting to be back, and then we get a game like this as the very first game. We were theory crafting what the draft was going to contain, like what the teams were going to do, and we were both wrong. I actually think you didn't say anything. So I was talking to myself, and I was wrong.
Technically, I wasn't wrong if I didn't say anything. That's true. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, you did great. You actually did better than me because you predicted nothing. So.
Harry, Dark Willow.
Yeah.
What in God's green earth is this?
Yeah.
Tell me.
correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if we've really seen it much this tournament, per se. I think maybe it's been run a game or two, but it hasn't been
We've
very
seen some
popular.
really greedy games where it's support and it turns into a carry, but not
True.
position one from the get-go.
This has been a little bit of a flavor in high-ranked pub games, though, as a carry. It offers some interesting utility. It's a very strong laner. It scales very well at being universal. The way it attack speed talent, especially later on, the way it can itemize. It's a very special carry because it's kind of a ranged anti-carry. There's almost no hero like that in the game, right? When you use your second spell and you just Shadow Realm, there it is. When you use Shadow Realm and you just keep laying into the enemy carry, they don't really have a counterplay, you know? Like, you don't have this...
like Muerta to some degree.
Exactly. It's kind of like the second Muerta, where Muerta is a really good anti-physical damage hero, whereas Dark Willow is more of a anti-single target anything hero, as long as she stays in that shadow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Magnus plays into this. I find this really interesting. Like, it's a very far down the list of my Empower friends, you know, for Mag. Brood is good for it, though, so that's going to be an interesting sight here. Yeah, imagine, you know, we're just sitting here as casters. Imagine being 9Pandas going into this draft. You're like, you feel like you have your prep, and I don't know how much of your prep was really case here.
I think we're going to have a listen in. All right. There's Trample.
Listening in on Trample.
Sounds really good. Smoke up right now from both respective sides. Not going to find any action outright. Yeah, you talked about Dark Willow. We both talked about it. But we also have the Brood, which you did mention, but that's the hero that's kind of fallen out of favor. And why is that? The many nerfs have something to do with that, perhaps?
Yeah, it's definitely been hit quite a lot of times, but this is, I would say this is the player that fixed it the most is Neo. Even after some nerfs when other teams in China were starting to give up on it a little bit, we still saw LGD absolutely obliterating games with this as a last pick, but in this draft, he picked it open-ended with 2 additional counterpicks available for 9Pandas, and they obviously opted for the Morphling as the lane matchup. I think that's an okay lane for Brood. That matchup doesn't really kill Brood so much.
When the horn blows, the
With the Astral Spirit. One of these bounties to start the game. Astral Spirit comes out. It's a lot of spirits, in fact, this game is new. Be able to find his way out of the cliff, his way to the offlane for LGD. So overall, like this game, talked about these crazy picks overall from 9Pandas side, though this, I mean, semi-normal for the most part.
Yeah, I was looking through their game history, and I think the most creative player they have in their team in terms of draft is actually Solo. I think Solo plays some very unique position 5s. We're seeing it here. He's going to run the Elder Titan, which definitely a team like LGD will not be too uncomfortable playing against, since this hero, historically speaking, I would say is a bigger pick in the China region than in any other region. So they should be very well aware of what this hero offers in that laning stage. Yeah, like I said, aside from that, not really too many surprises. Ramses on the Morphling, the Rubik counterpick to Magnus can't have surprised them either, but definitely some interesting flavor coming out. In the panel, we're debating, okay, where's Primal going to go? Obviously ended up in the hands of Miro in that offlane like they thought it would.
We're seeing Skywrath Mage and Brood fight against Ramsey's Morphling and Solo's Elder Titan. And when it comes to team fights, Elder Titan is maybe top of the list for TI heroes, I feel like. This hero just always seems to come back one way or another. See how it works on this patch.
Yeah, a lot of the time at TI, teams will, you know, because the stakes are high, you slow down your play perhaps. It becomes more teamfight centric, and a hero like Elder Titan, or we saw in the last series, Earthshaker, generally seems to have a little bit of a resurgence. And I think, I'm not sure exactly what Solo's scoreline is with this. I think he's won some, he's lost some this tournament. It hasn't been all clean. But I will say he's probably the player that played the hero the most, at the very least.
Yep,
which will be warmed up.
Bottom lane, we're going to see a little bit of action there. Blood Grenade onto Antares. The attempt to run away from this very hard-hitting tree and Protector is why you smile.
Uh-oh.
More right clicks will do, or will one Shadow Realm is going to pop the Fairy Fire to just barely survive. Have to expend some resources, but and you can see from the LGD side, they didn't really have to expend much themselves to almost get that kill.
I'm just looking at this lane, I'm like, has this lane ever been played?
I'm sure in some really low hard pub at some point.
I don't know, Tree and Willow against, at the very least, I suppose the surrounding heroes here are are somewhat common in their respective positions, but the carry Willow plus Treant lane is... This is a really strong lane, by the way. Willow carry, it might sound uncharacteristic because the hero historically is mainly support, but can definitely hold its ground as a core in lane, and you pair it with arguably the single strongest lane support in the game. It's a recipe for a tough matchup down here for 9Pandas, who are, let's say, holding their own for now. The main concern is that Shiro has 8 denies on his Dark Willow against Primal, a hero that has really high base damage. So that lane is, at the very least for LGD,
No, he's
so
still
far
just
going
so
great.
shocked that it's a position 1. He just can't quite get those last hits. I mean, in terms of the build, I assume Aghanim Scepter is like the core item on this hero, and then attack speed in the form of, well, it could be anything, but we've seen Moon Shards in the past. What are you expecting from this hero long term?
I'm mainly considering what approach he's going to take against the Morphling in particular, right? Because this is a classic Morphling counter matchup. You turn into Willow, you have Ags yourself, and you just start killing people with the Shadow Realm. But if you have Octarine Core on Willow, I think the downtime when you have the level 20 talent from 1 to 2 seconds Shadow Realm is like 0.3 seconds or something that you're out of Shadow Realm. So if you don't land AoE stuns to prevent Shiro from just staying in Shadow Realm, I don't know if he actually needs to worry too much about Morphling taking his form. So maybe you don't need to itemize something like a LinkedIn.
Mid lane, nothing to say. Getting bullied a bit here, but you can see in the last hits, he's doing A-okay against that OD. Yotaka playing one of his patented heroes, I guess you could call it, as the Shockwave comes in. This is another hit that we've been seeing kind of ramped up a bit as we can see the Astral Imprisonment to start. Nothing to fall because he doesn't quite have, I mean, is this a Meteor Hammer here? So we can see TP supports coming in, Antares. See that one gets canceled there. Nothing to say, we'll get some deliveries from YU Smile.
Nothing to say is doing really well in this lane. I cannot imagine this being a good lane matchup for Magnus. You're playing against OD, who historically just, or in general, just destroys melee heroes in that mid lane, but he's 24-7 against Kiyotaka's 18-4, so even though he has to buy a healing salve to offset some of this pressure of the OD, his net worth is still going to look very healthy going forward in this game. And I guess it begs the question, how good of a Magnus game is this, right? Because if you're having a good laning stage against OD, which is, I would say, not particularly expected, how do you convert it in this game? Do you have good targets? I'd say Morphling is one of the better carries at dealing with Magnus because he can, you know, if you get your shift off, Magnus might not play his ult. The OD can save from the RP. You're playing against Rubik. There's a lot of potential problems here for nothing to say. So
I mean,
maybe
would you say based on the draft, just your guess here, since I know you like to be technical, the Dark Willow was first pick, I believe.
Yeah.
They know it's going to be a carry right off the bat for LGD.
No, but I think they rated that high because they have the flexibility. I think that's why they pick it so early, and also, you know, it's always going to be a bit of a surprise factor.
A bit, yes.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
There's no saying that 9Pandas weren't considering this, right? Like, obviously, we were surprised, the panel was surprised, but it's not unheard of to play this hero as a carry, so 9Pandas might have been considering that as part of the reason they picked the Morphling when they did, right? They picked the Morph into Magbrood and the Dark Willow.
Well, not quite level 4, so can't just onslaught away. That's going to be an easy pickoff. And first blood for Planet takes a full almost 6 minutes. Talk about this game potentially being a bloodbath, but so far, only kill.
Speaking of bloodbath, that first blood was actually the blood grenade getting the last hit. So very fitting to get first blood with a blood grenade. Wonder if that's why they named it that, because that's the... Oh, that's a mid blood grenade.
Went into the Astral Imprisonment there. That's why he's not getting a full sanity clip. That's enough to get the kill, but nothing to say now. Completely surrounded. Another blood grenade comes out. Say trying to just walk away. Looks like he'll do so successfully.
I'd say the biggest winner in all of this is actually Miro, who finally gets a little bit of breathing space, right? Like we've talked about how this bottom lane didn't go well for him to begin with against Owen. Now with all the heroes rotating off the lane and he has a double wave in his tower, at the very least he's going to close in at this level 5 and start getting some DPS. So that's the good news. The bad news is, for 9Pandas, you look at these last hits deny scores in general, top 3 all sitting on the side of PSG, and there's a lot of denies there. I call them PSG.
That's going to be just LGD.
Okay? It's funny how that took a while to get used to, and now you got used to it, and now you need to remember to go back to the old way.
You really need to get your shit together, okay?
I know.
Unacceptable.
I know.
Absolutely unacceptable. Yes, just LGD.
You wouldn't think you could be washed up as a caster as well, but you actually can. You can get washed in any.
That's true.
Yeah.
Planet, chased a bit here by Solo. Had a lot of great setups for his eventual Mystic Flare to come. Between the Overgrowth, RP, I guess even Brambles.
Yeah, Brambles are pretty decent. 2.5 second duration on level 4. It's the duration of Mystic Flare again. It's 2, so yeah, get the full value out of it. Line it up nicely.
Looks like Midas is being queued up here for Shiro. We've been seeing a lot more Midas. Some games we've seen, I think, like 7 or 8 mid lane. Kiyotaka taking a ton of damage. We'll get the Astral to save himself a bit, but it looks like he might just drop to that shockwave. Indeed, he does. Echo Stomp from Solo just a little bit too late. Very valuable kill here for LGD.
To a 1k lead here. 8 minutes in. Again, I thought for a moment Mag was also going on, so that's going to be Tread. We've seen games with 7 Midases in this tournament. I think.
Yeah, what do you think about that? I mean, late game Dota is really fun, right?
Right. I mean, the thing is, obviously, it's no secret that the average game length has become longer in this patch. It's by design, but I think a lot of the time teams are maybe defaulting a little bit too much to Midas because you just have this mindset of, oh, the games are long, we want value.
Solo, he's getting devoured by you and all those little spiderlings.
The thing about Midas is, even if you theoretically get a lot of value out of it in a 40 or 45 minute game, if it means that you end up in this awkward mid-game stage where you cannot put any sort of pressure on the map, even if you can farm, but you can't like limit the enemy team at all, they might still, let's say they farm 60% of the map and you farm 40, your Midas didn't do anything, right? Then they didn't pay off. Because maybe if you had active items, you could have instead imposed some sort of threat on the map. Getting that 60-40 advantage yourself. Alright, really hates that Spider Miro, will destroy it.
Actually, I think his creeps got to kill him.
Oh yeah,
Didn't even get the one. Very unfortunate.
He's really going to be missing that 3 gold later.
Well, if you get the full thing next time with the trample, then it's worth it. Yeah, very annoying here to deal with, and a hero that they haven't really had to play against in quite a while. Kind of dropped off, but top net worth is new at the moment. That tier 1 tower will fall.
And this is when it gets extra scary playing against Brood. If you lose all 3 lanes and you don't have very good catch, which I would argue they don't have, when this Brood was picked, they didn't really have any heroes that were particularly good against it. No, Brood's nightmare matchups are something like Spirit Breaker or some sort of heavy single target lockdown like Beastmaster, you know, any sort of long duration stun that people can kill you in. I'm not really that concerned here. I think Miero is ever showing you're almost safe, I want to say. It's like you're going to need 3 or 4 heroes to kill this Brood, so you should be getting a lot of space on the map, and he's going to bring it to Miro.
Steal for the silence. Is this going to be enough damage? It's off the onslaught. Looks like he will live. Will has to waddle his way back to base as New sets his lane all to himself. See, Kiyotaka has his Midas, so that's Midas number 2. Overall in the game, of course, we're counting, not for each respective team.
But to specify, Kiyotaka was done by 2 Midas.
Right? You could do that. Lose the game. Nothing to say. Has some decent stacks here for himself. Always the self-empower with these core Magnuses being extremely efficient.
Yeah, looks like he's opting to rush the dagger. We've seen different approaches to Magnus after he became Universal Hero. Some players would go for the Echo Saber first. We've seen builds that don't have dagger at all, like where you go harpoon into stats, just like become this super hard-hitting carry with crit. But it looks like the dagger will be first on the menu here, so I guess their lineup can benefit a lot from having this catch, and maybe this is a wave. This is like telling for LGD's mindset in this game that they just want to keep putting on the pressure. I say that they have 3 kills, but you know they're just playing the map better. 3k gold advantage now, and with Magnus having this dagger, it becomes even more dangerous for 9Pandas heroes to start moving out. It begs the question, where are your plays coming from? It's 9Pandas, right? Your mid hero's OD, it's not exactly a playmaking hero, and he went Midas. So, can you really stop LGD just farming the map? What are your plays?
You buy more Midases, maybe.
I suppose. That wouldn't be great.
You see a smoke, this will be the blink reveal. They don't really want to go for this Rubik in all likelihood, but have to. There's a skewer in, and it's going to be an easy pickoff for LGD. We already have a 3k lead here at 11.5 minutes.
Tower looks to be disintegrating.
No siege creep for them, so this mid push will be a little bit harder. Broodmother, one of the best heroes at pushing towers for 2 reasons. Obviously, it deals a lot of damage to it, but also just infinite tanking, right? You keep your creep wave alive the whole time. The spiders buy you so much time to get this damage.
The Astral Imprisonment just in time. But they actually messed up the timing overall because there's the RP, but another misspell, this time the Mystic Flare. Miro getting extremely low. The Pulverize gets canceled instantly. That's finally the first death message in favor of LGD. There's a nice sanity clip onto 2. Not enough for kill quite yet as Ramses comes in with that waveform. So they get the support Trian in the end, but my goodness, a lot of miscues from both sides.
So the tournament with the finest players in the world. Spell accuracy 40%. It happens.
That would be an amazing stat, by the way.
Sometimes you just mess up, right? It's one of those things where you kind of want to premeditatively plan how you're going to use the skewer and RP, but if it wasn't communicated properly, Skywrath might have thought, okay, you just RP, I ult on it, and then we skewer. Or, you know, just misjudged it perhaps, but all in all, when all is said and done, there's a 1-for-1 trade. LGD still gets some serious damage out on that tower. And the writing on the wall is still that they're just gaining. I have to say, Primal Beast for me, this hero is extremely powerful in a lot of the games we see. I don't think this hero plays particularly well this far behind, and the matchups that it has are pretty tricky. There's 2 BKB piercing abilities in the Overgrowth as well as the RP, so you don't even have the freedom of movement, even if you do itemize specifically against Willow. I'd say that's like the only item that truly unlocks this hero against Willow is that BKB. So Miera is kind of a damn it if you do, damn it if you don't kind of situation. You have to pick your poison. There's no good build this game for this hero. That's what you want to see when you first pick a hero, right?
Yeah,
you want the enemy team to shut it down, and that's definitely been the case so far from LGD.
That is definitely the case. That's why he's not even opting to go for BKB anytime soon, going for the full heart first, just to get a little bit pink. I mean, at this point, I think you just have to force out these spells from LGD and just live with it.
I think this quick buy is like a Steam wish list. You know, it's like he wants all of these items, and he kind of needs all of them before it truly feels good. But it's a pretty expensive wish list. I need some good gifts for that.
There he is. He's going to get the telekinesis off, but this will surely be his death eventually. Okay, getting blocked.
He just missed
Okay, there we go. Eventually fine, and now they're going to get a beautiful RP onto the OD with the actual... Not in time, actually, because the Mystic Flare was more than enough damage. So they end up getting the kill that they wanted originally. Now they have a little bit of practice syndrome, they get the combo down, and they get the tier 1 to boot.
I have to say I'm pretty impressed with you, because usually when we cast, sometimes you call the team by the sponsor name. You have not called them hot dog yet. I'm not gonna genuinely surprising, because I feel like when you see that word, you just have to say it. But
I mean, it just makes me hungry more than anything, if I'm being honest. Thank goodness.
I mean, LGD are hungry too. I was gonna say they're playing with their food, but I mean, not really. They're just eating. They're feasting.
They're shoving those hot dogs down their throat right now with that 6K lead for LGD here at about 15 minutes. Shards will be unlocked shortly. Blade Mail now online for Mr. Miero, which, I mean, that's a really good, I mean, obviously that's not like a very uncommon item to pick up onto the Primal Beast, but this game seems very good with a lot of the extra damage flying around.
It's great against Skywrath and Willow because they have this uncontrollable damage and both heroes are relatively frail, so if they do cast their spells onto the Primal, it can push them. But as it stands, I think Shiro hasn't really needed to be particularly much involved. He has 1 assist on the carry Willow, he's just farming a lot. Alright, gonna have to manage
that up.
Could be a good kill.
Be able to do anything about this nice ancient seal, preventing the pulverize outright as New just runs away casually. Beautifully done from Planet. Great positioning. That wastes a lot of times for 9Pandas. That's 4 hero rotation for them.
Yeah, those feel bad. You know, you're already kind of getting cornered by the Brood. These moves have to be successful when you're finally committing this many resources to buy yourself a little bit of space. Great placement from Planet to counteract this move. Yeah, in the meantime, at the very least, Ramses is getting some pretty good farm on the Morphling. We haven't talked about him much. Usually Morph has this pretty significant build-up time. It doesn't particularly crush many lanes either, so a lot of the time just silently goes by and suddenly reaches critical mass. I think this is, if you're a 9Pandas fan, this is the hero you're holding out hope for. You want Morphling to get big, you want him to turn into Willow and start killing heroes in the fights during the stuns of Rubik and Elder Titan. Still just primarily going to be a matter of, are you going to have that space? It's not often that you're playing against Brood, right? Like, these teams obviously have experience from the past, but maybe, I wouldn't be surprised if in the last month, 9Pandas haven't played a single game against Brood, right, in this type of organized play, so it does change the game dramatically. It's a very unique hero in the way that it impacts the map.
Oh, they're getting squeezed in a bit here. Nothing to say has a shield rune activated. Still to find anybody. Miero is their target. Has been all game long. RP gonna get canceled temporarily and tries to get another miscue, but they still have more than enough damage to take out the Primal Beast.
Was he onslaughting while being... I'm actually not sure, because they used Overgrowth to try to counteract this, right? But he still went driving, but then he also got skewered, so... There's everything all at once, you know? I don't actually know That's not that important. The end result's the same.
Bottom
Yep,
tower.
he died.
He did die.
There's still hot dogs in the game. 8K lead now for LGD. I was not expecting this. Coming to this, I thought this was going to be a pretty even matchup. Throughout the year, I think 9Pandas have had a better year than LGD. LGD's kind of been up and down, where 9Pandas kind of, I feel like, not getting the recognition perhaps they deserve. They got, what, third at Berlin. They got top 6 in both the Riyadh Masters and Bali Major. Like, they've had a secret, like, very, very good year.
Yeah, they're a stable team, but, you know, at this level of competition, especially with a bit, I don't know if you want to call this a pocket strat from LGD, because it didn't seem like all of it was planned right, and I don't really think that anymore in Dota, to be fair.
It's close enough, though.
This is about as close as you're going to get to a pocket strat, right? You first pick Willow and you turn into a carry, and you pick Brood that nobody's been playing. So they're definitely bringing out something surprising, and even if this is... Okay.
Found out. We'll get the Echo Stomp off, and that'll be enough for him to get away. Aghanim Scepter now online, though, for Shiro, and that is the power spike for LGD. Sandy's Eclipse, okay.
Enjoy.
Gotta get rid of those spiders one way or another. Don't have a raid bottle, so just use that ult. Without that, looks like LGD gonna feel very comfortable to go inside the pit for roach number 1.
Spiders don't have much mana, so this is great. That is quite the desperation play right there. It's like, okay, we're putting out fires, okay? That's where we're at for 9Pandas now. But what I was gonna say was, you're right about the year and how things have been going. In any individual game such as this, if you get surprised and caught off guard like this, I don't think this game is indicative of like how levels of these two teams necessarily, right? I think it's fair to say LGD are probably the favorites because of the group stage result in their first playoff match, but it's I'm not expecting this series to just play out this way.
Fair enough. Nothing to say. Looking for a pickoff onto Paris again. Might not find it though. It's a skewer Welsh score.
Yeah, nothing to say, opting for the Lincolns over the Harpoon that I think a lot of Magnuses would grab in this slot now to execute kills such as that one. Really respecting, I want to say, primarily the OD Astro, but also it's a little bit of layer of protection against Spell Steal, and it's a way of preventing more from turning into, which could also be a potential concern. I would say that's like a reason for the Lincolns. But of course, he's a Universal Hero, so it feels great to buy it anyway. Item. A lot of damage. Yep.
Let's see what kind of trouble.
Gonna pick up a nice Invis rune, see if they try to set something up with it. Hurricane Pike now online for Kiyotaka. Just still gonna need quite a bit more farm here.
The lowest amount of kills on a team this
About to
tournament.
be Radiant's top rubble. Dire structures
Oh, for one team?
Yeah.
It might be.
Radiant's
Kiyotaka's gonna be found. Oh, Hydra, nicely done, but he's gonna send the Mystic Flare. Nothing to say, he's gonna bring him right back, but no, gets terrorized to the other side. Kiyotaka stuck inside a corner with a bunch of spiders. He's not gonna be able to get out. And Solo will follow him to the grave as well, though he was killed by a neutral creep. Okay. Oh, by the Tormentor, of course.
What is it with Eastern European teams and dying to Tormentor?
Okay. It's only been out for like 8 months now. Hard to calculate. Nero, we'll pop that blade mail, but more action to come here.
They did get the Tormentor. I think that's an important detail here. It was, they got the Tormentor and all they lost was their support. They got the Echo Stomp Shard for Elder Titan, which lowers the cooldown and allows you to teleport to it, which you really don't want to do in this game.
Yeah,
so essentially it lowers the cooldown.
For this game, it's not the greatest. But it would have been between him and Rubik, and I mean, Rubik's we've seen many a time is very valuable for a save.
It's great against Magnus.
Yep, very true.
But that's how coin flips are. Sometimes it's heads, sometimes it's tails, Sunsven. Over to you.
Thanks for the analysis there. 50-50. Miero. Oh, he did actually change his mind here, so we'll be going for the BKB before the heart, despite there being so many things that go through it here.
Yeah, it's, again, it's one of those things where what are you going to focus on? Are you trying to get
Are you
trying to get maximum value out of your blade mail, or are you thinking, okay, if I don't have BKB, I can't even navigate fights at all? And Planet almost pulled solo there.
Shiro actually gets the shard, which means there's other shards on his team. Yeah, Trian already picked up his, so it's a 50-50.
Yeah,
nothing to say, and you are so farmed.
And yeah, I was just going to say, how often do you see Shiro be third network in his team in a 22? Yeah. You know, that just goes to show how good of a game the other players are having with how LGD usually administer their resources.
Enjoy, Dota. Enjoy.
Yep, that's what I would say if I was playing with Brood. If I was playing against Brood, I would not.
Yeah, not so much. So do you think that using this Aegis is important? Because they've expanded their lead a bit. Still only a minute and a half left. They're going to try to force the issue, or is there an item or some sort of thing they're waiting for?
I don't think it's particularly important. I think the most important thing here is just keep pushing lanes. As long as you have vision of the enemy team's movements, you're opening up for potential catches with the Treant Shard, you're opening up for skewer plays, you're opening up for... I mean, even the Willow can solo heroes, right, if it comes to that, but Shiro has... frankly, barely had to do anything in this game.
The hero has barely
farming.
Yeah.
It's like we're the talk of the town in this game. It's like this carrier Dark Willow. It's so exciting, and he's just hitting creeps, you know?
Oh, there's only 11 kills total in the game as the RP onto Kiyotaka. Ancient Seal to follow. Do they have the damage? Yes. But they can't deny him his goddamn Midas because he got it off in time.
Nice.
Congratulations to Kiyotaka on cooldown.
It's just not that important with the 2 charges, right?
But it's still exciting.
It's good. It's good. We have to celebrate things for 9Pandas that are worth celebrating. That was not one of them, but I'm glad you're looking for bright spots in this. A little bit of a beatdown. That
It's
this is
10-2. 9K lead for LGD. Aegis will be consumed in about 30 seconds, though.
So I think 9Pandas are waiting for this BKB on Primal, and then I feel like they kind of have to do something. I don't think you could just sit back and hope you farm up something meaningful enough. You've got Scotty on the Morph, you're getting this BKB on Primal, and granted, I still think this fight is going to be really hard, but you kind of have to try to do something there. They opted to smoke now.
Oh, Ramsey! Oh my god, the damage! One Mystic Flare was enough. Holy jeez, that's the state of the game for 9Pandas as the Aegis is now gone, but it matters not for LGD. They're going to get this tier 2 tower.
All right, that
most
play,
likely more.
That play just straight up doesn't really make sense to me. You're 300 gold away from that key item on Primal Beast, and your save is dead, and then you smoked. So this smoke was essentially a 3v5. You don't have information about where the enemy team is, and I'm all for looking for a play here, because like I said, I think you have to do it, but bring your team. Going for that as 3 seemed a little bit naive and just hopeful, and
the second
got punished for it.
fortification. Another 18 seconds for Ramses. See if 9Pandas want to force the issue. First crown. Oh, they're going to actually disrupt the charge there. There's nothing to say. Taking quite a bit of damage. We'll be able to walk away.
Oh, it's a long rambles.
Elder Titan ult goes off as well, but it's not going to lead to any meaningful kill. But at the very least for 9Pandas, they do defend.
Yeah. And this is where I would like them to make their move, right? Because now you are all 5 alive. You're naturally just grouped up right now, and the lanes, yeah, the lanes are bad, but they've been bad for 10 minutes, right? So kind of have to try to look for something now. But it seems that now they have their timing with this BKB, they're still chilling. Like maybe the Earth Splitter in their minds is extremely important for this upcoming fight, or is there some other item you're waiting for? Is this OD Axe really going to be it?
Yeah, what do you think about that Axe, by the way?
It's pretty interesting. I think against the lineup he's up against, it's kind of going to work. It works like an Aeon Disc, right? It's a strong dispel, and then you get a lot of health. So it's a good line of defense against getting RP Mystic Flare comboed. But you're not really that strong offensively, right? So you're very much at the mercy of Morphling getting to play a good fight, or Primal Beast finding a key target, and that hasn't really been anything to rely on.
Oh, pops, they know somebody's here. They're going to find Solo. Seems like Silence, a nice sheep instantly as well onto the Primal Beast. Looking at the cover of Kiyotaka on the sidelines, Mier's going to be able to get off the look for a decent amount of time, actually. The Overgrowth comes out now. Onto the high ground he goes, but Neil can easily walk up it. We'll pop his BKB in defense, though. And losing one as the RP completely whips.
Oh, stolen.
And Ramses now.
Okay.
Ready to fight back, and yeah, with that RP in tow, you'll just have to be a bit careful.
Yeah. I think the play now for 9Pandas is wait for your BKB on Primal to be ready in a minute. So you smoke in like 40 seconds, and then you'll want to put this RP to use. And Tars is not going to be able to afford a dagger to make this RP more potent, but you have to look for what you're going to get. And I think the conditions now, this is as good as it's going to get. So I'll try to make the most of it here. If you wait for the next key item on Morphling, which looks like it's going to be the BKB, I think your RP is going to expire. And when you're this far behind and the map is like this, you're really counting on individual star plays, right? You need something big here.
Well, there's the sheep being shown again as why he's not taking so much hit from the Arcane Orb. Kiyotaka just rips him a new one.
A good start.
Arrow gets credit for that kill. So no tree for 40. See how passive LGD want to be. I mean, we still haven't really seen Shadow Realm being put to use on any heroes yet, I feel like.
You had a couple of times.
All right, just bear with me.
he's been in there.
Smoke now from
Radiant are
9Pandas
scanning
really
for
needing to
enemies.
find something.
Yeah, I like this move a lot. This is.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
Right on the outskirts.
I mean, any core kill here is big, right? The
Right.
cores of LGD haven't died yet.
Planet will be found. They knew he was taking those lotuses for himself. Easy pick off. So another kill for 9Pandas. They've actually doubled their kills in the last 30 seconds. Incredible display.
What do you think of Planet Hot Dog?
There we go. Sounds like a lot of heartburn. Second Roche is up. The Aegis and Cheese
Dire is
available.
scanning for enemies.
And if 9Pandas can try to, I mean, we do have OD, and Morphling can be pretty decent as well. They can actually take Roche relatively fast.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, if this smoke gives them a core kill and Roche is up, I think that is the biggest avenue back into the game, is getting that exact outcome. But they only found Planet. They can't really capitalize on this too much, but at the very least, they're still holding on to, what's that, about a minute and a half still of the RP, maybe 2 minutes. So there's still another opportunity if they do want to look for it.
Arrow halfway done from his heart. Honestly, at this stage, maybe just go for the blink. Unless you're really confident this game is going to continue past that point.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what the blink play is. Do you just blink BKB and hold the mag if you can? Is that good enough?
Then the overgrowth you have to worry about.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? There's no like clear cut. Okay, if we initiate the fight like this, it's going to be good. Kind of has to play the waiting game anyway.
Roshan has fallen to the ring.
Well, Aegis and Cheese are claimed for LGD. So Aegis onto Shiro and Cheese for New.
All right, Shiro's drawing an arrow. What do you think it means?
Hot dog time.
All right, that's a very interesting way of drawing that. Yummy. Well,
He's got a good neutral item for this game as well.
True, Grove Bow is the item for Dark Willow core, for sure.
Not
This
too shabby.
tier, I don't even know if there's a tier 3 item that's better than this. Like, you could make a case for maybe getting the Quiver, but
That's only one shot though.
yeah, I think this is probably still better. Maybe Titan Sliver when you're playing core, just because you're Universal Hero, so the flat-out damage you get from it is pretty meaningful, with it being percentage of base damage.
I think based on the fact that it's literally amplifying your Shadow Realm.
That's why it's so good, is that this... Basically, every ranged hero in the game that we see take Grove Bow doesn't really benefit from this that as much as Dark Willow. I guess the only exception is Viper. Obviously loves to find it as well.
Saw Viper today. Did not go so well.
Dire's bottom tower is
It's been picked in a similar situation earlier in the tournament by LGD, as a matter of fact, and they did win their game with Viper against, I believe, it was a bristleback of, I want to say Virtus. Oh, they played it again.
I do believe that the Tormentor is now available for the taking. LGD could steal it.
I was just going to ask, who do you think they're going to sacrifice this time?
No, that's only 9Pandas will do that.
Yeah, well, if Pandas can get out, who do you...
There's aggression in multiple lanes now. 9Pandas going to do their best to defend. See the shield rune finally dissipate on the side of nothing to say. There's the fortification. As the damage onto Miero, just from afar, you can see that Shadow Realm being put to good use.
And this, actually, this right here is one of the biggest strengths of Willow Carry that I think isn't talked about enough. This hero is incredible at sieging high ground, which is very counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, it is awesome.
There's so much attack range, and you can't really open on the Willow. They're gonna maybe try here. They got this stuff on. This is so far away. As long as you keep getting vision in the base, Willow eventually is just playing this like a sniper, right? Just
Yeah,
it's a
gonna get
sniper.
that power. Neo, okay, pops the cheese, then the Sandy's Eclipse comes, so he lives through the day. Now that tier 3 tower is down, LGD can kind of reset.
This is a
Insatiable Hunger, Neo's back to full HP again.
That ability, I want to say, is crucial for 9Pandas to be able to kill. I think they really need OD's burst damage to get through some of these heroes. It's one of their only abilities dealing meaningful damage. Shadow Realm.
Arrow finally popped the BKB, going for the Pulverize. This is on the Magnus, doing a lot of damage. He's dead. 80 seconds of no mag. And with that, LGD will likely retreat. There's the BKB forced by Shiro. Getting up the Shadow Realm again as Miero just dies hopelessly on the sidelines.
This is
Gonna
game
lose a
over.
second in the form of the Elder Titan as Ramsey's just trying to go down at the deal, but doesn't worry about his HP pool. Going to the high ground, not expecting that apparently. Kiyotaka finally, the Agnes Scepter does activate, but it's gonna lead to his death eventually. The Astral Principle will give him a little bit of extra time. Gonna try to blink to safety. More stats as well, getting whipped into oblivion, but will live through the day as Ramsey's attempting to get out as well. Will actually do so. So these cores somehow evading death. It might still cost them some buildings if LGD stick around, but the Age is still in tow for another minute and a half.
Such a funny moment from Shiro. It's like he's just attacking ground, you know? The OD Astrals himself, and he just starts hitting the Torment with the Willow, but didn't really lead to much else. I mean, honestly, given the circumstances there for LGD, I think they should be very happy with this outcome. Their Magnus died to start the fight, didn't get RP off. It was a really good, quick defensive play there from Pandas to just flat out stun lock him until he died. And then they choose to chase out, which I think basically every team would have gone for that chase. But LGD just keep really strong formation. Obviously, they have the huge advantage of you have webs in this area, so Brood can find angles, and the Willow with Aegis is a borderline impossible kill. So that chase is really difficult to get anything from. But at the very least, they buy time, and the Aegis will expire before the next siege as a result. The question is, how are you going to kill Willow? Are you going to find any displacement here? Stealing Skewer on Rubik might be your best option, or turning into Magnus for the Morphling to try to force the Willow into base.
When your win condition is turning into an enemy hero, usually not a good sign, as Antares will get the shard.
Yep.
For 9Pandas, so there's your save.
This Torment killed, we immediately see Shiro pinging his own Torment, who's like, oh yeah, this is up. That global announcement reminded them for playing. So LGD will make some quick work of this here. And who will be the recipient of this shard is there's two candidates, actually three. And that is...
Okay. Horn Toss.
Decent, that is... Horn Toss,
Yep.
it's Shockwave.
That's right.
Horn Toss is the Scepter. I guess this was probably I want to say maybe the second best one they could have got. I think the Aghanim Shard on Brood here was probably the best. He is pretty damn strong on Brood with Empower, so
Yeah, that one is pretty cool.
the Insatiable Hunger one is quite
I
interesting.
think the Skyrath one is good. Makes him really tanky. He's a tanky boy with it.
It has its situations. This one is probably... not even taking a tier 2. 51 minutes in. They could win the game in one push because Morphling is one of the kings of quick pushing.
And now they're starting to put those Lincolns onto Shiro, knowing how fragile he is on that Dark Willow. Pocket in the pit. They can be able to scout this out. Already at half HP. I mean, this is a hero that can definitely take it fast. Kiyotaka is going to get some company with Ramses now. I think they're going to get this for free. A big take for 9Pandas. They get the Aegis, they get the Cheese, and Aghanim Scepter. He ends up taking it.
And again, let's remember,
get out.
Let's remember this.
Radiant's bottom tower.
This was probably just flat out LGDs if they had chosen to go for it, right? So not only did you not get the Roche, it went to the enemy team. That's about I don't know, how much a gold swing is that? Like 15k?
Wait, did they leave the Ags in there? Is that what happened? You just pinged the Ag shard.
I'm surprised there isn't more network on the Dire side right now.
Aghanim's Blessing dropped here. Antares is the one that pinged it. Which probably ended up getting it. Kiyotaka already had his. Antares. Okay. Oh, Ramses maybe took it.
So Ramses used it. I just thought they were going to get more network out of this situation. But... Okay. Oh, now he has more? How good is that here?
I don't know. You tell me, you're the analyst.
I think it's okay here.
But you paid the big bucks, huh?
Well, what were the alternatives? You could have gotten it. You could have got it on Primal, but he's buying it, right? He's 100 gold away. That's his next item, and the final option was Elder Titan, who can't really use it very well. So, yeah,
It's more
it
important.
was kind of just the. It was the best option they had, but none of them were really that great.
I mean, you're also taking it away from LGD.
Of course, I mean that's the biggest thing here is that LGD did not get it. They could have, for example, got it. I think the one on Tree End this game could have actually been really interesting for LGD with the state of the game, right? Starting to get Eyes in the Forest out, you just need, you need to find that one key pick. But now that the Aegis is in the hands of 9Pandas, I think this game again is going to hit a little bit of a lull because they aren't really interested in taking a high-risk play offensively right now without their buyback on the Willow. Like, what do they have to gain? You just need to keep controlling the waves, have Broodmother push it out, have a little bit of maybe a 3-end Nature's Grasp push out a wave here and there, Shockwave from far away, dodge, buy time. If you look at this from 9Pandas' perspective, they're not seeing a hero, right? Their waves are getting pushed, but it's all low-commitment pushes. It's Manta from Willow, it's Broodmother Spiderlings. And how are 9Pandas going to use their Aegis? 2.5 minutes left. I mean, I guess the name of the game is not used. This game we haven't used.
That will follow the trend. We'll have 2 apiece at that point. So yeah, I think just waiting for the buybacks, and then we're going to have to reset this, and who knows? Maybe we'll get to that special time in the game sooner.
You're generally start dreaming of it minute 40. I'm impressed with your restraint. We got to minute 54:22 before you started talking about tier 5 neutral item.
I mean, to be fair, I think about it minute 1.
Yes.
Like, legitimately.
This is probably a personal best for you, actually.
I do have a problem.
Yes.
More than one something.
Yes.
Ramses, fully loaded. I mean, what can you even buy at this point? Is it Moonshard time, or do you backpack the refresher after you use it and replace it with something else?
Yes, it's Moonshard, right? I don't really know what you can improve here. I think you really need your Manta in this game. So you're against Overgrowth. It can be a nice little line of defense against Scarlet Silence. So you're probably keeping that one. You keep your BKB. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think you can swap anything out. So it's got to be Moonshard at that point, right? Unless, is there some sort of cool Swift Blink build here where you blink and assassinate someone waveform out?
Really wanted to eat that hot dog, but it's not for him to ingest.
Well, if anyone eats a planet hot dog, it's OP, right? I think that's
the lore?
That's pretty lore friendly, yeah. That would be a frequent visitor of the Galactic Cafe.
That slacks about that one. 25 now online for Primal.
Wasn't there a cartoon, a children's cartoon, about like some sort of space family that went to a restaurant?
The Jetsons?
Is that what it was called?
There's a
I mean,
Dota game happening right
you
now.
would know this. Yeah.
We're aware.
Well, we're currently waiting for Aegis to expire, so I feel like in the meantime we can talk about other stuff. Until when Aegis is expired, then it's go time. Then we're going to see the fight break out. So.
Yotaka steals the Wisdom Rune. He goes from level 27 to level...
Oh no, don't do it. Don't fight the Tormentor. Don't do it.
Oh
my god.
Wait.
No.
He can do it. He can do it.
He cannot do
Okay,
it.
Yotaka. Keep doing it.
Alright, fun fact about that attempt, it was not even remotely close.
Oh, the sheep onto Ramses. Do they have the damage? The RP, but the save is there for Antares. And Ramses will survive.
Great.
That was scary.
Great save.
Yotaka was healing. I'm sure he didn't want to admit to his team why he was healing in the mountain. When there was no heroes remotely close to him, he's going to blink into the corner. He's going to force that in the video. We'll see him. He gets Hexo. There's the RP finally to come. OD is dead. No buyback at all. And Miera will follow suit. He does that buyback available. There's the waveform from Ramsey. He's able to clean up one. That's a form of new. There's no room to come, but he does have his buyback available right now. Looks like Antares is going to die on the sidelines. There's a triple buyback coming out, making a quad from 9Pandas. Ramses has to be careful. Get the waveform in. It looks like LGD are on the run. They're going to lose their Tree-Amp Protector. I'm not going to say able to Shadow Blade away. My goodness, what the hell is that fight? That's 4 buybacks for 9Pandas and only 1 for LGD.
Yeah, that's expensive. I guess the good news for 9Pandas is they did not need to burn the Morphling one, so he can frontline in the coming fight and have that buyback for a potential play, but yeah, that was expensive. Still, considering how that started, OD blinked in, got stuck, force-staffed in and got hexed, did not have Essence Flux, because guess what? It was a cooldown from the Tormentor.
Boy, oh boy. I told you the Tormentor was important, Cinderin. Maybe
game,
not in this
okay,
one.
late game Tormentor is just a trap. Okay, like you, risk reward, boys.
Everyone has shards, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants revenge.
Oh.
Okay, can he do it this time? Stolo is coming to help out. Yotaka is like, never mind. I almost threw the game by doing that.
I think he learned a lesson here. It's like, this is a trap, so
New, if they can get him, that's a dieback. He gets sheep, there's the buyback onto the train protector. Big guys, he clips. Down goes Brood, no buyback from the side of LGD. It's a 4v5.
LGD have given so few freebies, I want to say. Most of the kills 9Pandas have got in this game, they've really had to fight for in these moments, but that one time Neo out of position.
It's time for Tormentor number 3. Can you do it this time? LGD? LGD?
Just do something else.
Tormentor has been a trap twice over now for each side.
Hopes up for 1 minute away from tier 5 neutral items.
Don't get it.
So if you wanna start theory crafting a little bit about which ones you would like to find.
All of them.
Alright, well you're gonna find 5 of them for each team, so 10.
Well, I would think that, what's the, man, I can't remember the name, the one that gives you stats.
Apex?
Apex on OD would probably be good.
Okay.
Something like that.
Seems like a pretty dope game for Book of Shadows.
I was going to say Book of Shadows is, I think it might be the strongest one in general. It's just the usage is so difficult.
Yeah, it's a very good item to have on Rubik this game, though. He has insane cast range. He's kind of playing as a save anyway. Away from...
Oh. Okay. New gets a little prize in the grave. Still 50 seconds left on his death timer. He will have, that's the Insatiable Hunger one, right? Yes.
I feel like when Tormentors came out, people were a little bit on the fence about, is it a good name for it? It's a pretty good name. If you think about what it does in the game.
Tormentors, sure.
I mean, people really want to get it, and how many players have burnt their fingers so far in this tournament?
That is true. Could have been called Masochist.
Absolutely
60 minutes has arrived. Here, 5 items, Cinderin.
Oh.
Mirror Shield is the first to drop.
Wait, how many Midases does each team have? So OD had one, so that was a direct item there.
Okay.
And
they're so spread out, it doesn't even matter. They're going to get them.
It's the only Midas in the game, so a bit of an advantage to 9Pandas there.
Yeah, huge advantage. Boy, oh boy.
Imagine
Pirate Hat. Oh, that is a delicious one for Dark Willow.
That is very good. But imagine you got 5 tier 5 neutral items before the enemy team got any. If you had like 3 Midases, you just immediately use them, right? And then smoke.
I'm not listening to you. I'm just looking at the items that are showing on my screen. Apex onto Morph, Seer Stone onto Tree, Book of Shadows for OD. We were thinking that might be on the support, but that's just another save. I mean, he has Astral for himself or a teammate. He has his Aghanim Scepter, and now that item.
He's rocking 400 agility right now.
Normal.
That's a lot of agility. Book of Shadows and OD, as you said. The rest is, there's a token now coming from Primal Beast. Love to see the Giant's Ring, just so he's bigger. Not particularly because it's good, it's just funny.
It is. That is accurate. I can attest to this. He's really thinking about it.
He's thinking.
Maybe we get to see a fallen sky. Okay, he's going to go for the forces.
Okay.
Good against tree. I believe it does dispel that.
Yeah, frees up a slot for his face boots as well, right? So he can put something else there.
He's been getting Ancient Sealed all game.
Yeah, fair.
Of course, he's been getting hexed as well, and that will not help him in that scenario.
But his item that he's queuing up will. Aeon Disc.
All right. Well, Roshop will be happening. He is not up yet. 35 seconds to go. And yeah, it'll be daytime.
So LGD are missing one tier 5 neutral for Brood.
Dire's middle tower looks to be disintegrating.
Should have gotten that Midas.
9Pandas, we're missing one for the Titan.
Dire's
Even
middle
Seer
tower
Stone
is
on the
under
tree
attack.
and could be a game-winning item potentially if you use it well for that vision. As that will break here.
Yeah, nice overgrowth from YU Smiles, but they're not going to be able to stand inside that Ancient Seal. Nice hex. And onto Ramses for the time being. Miero gets off his ult, though. That's going to be a deleted Magnus who has to buy back in the game. Sure, already at half HP. He's going to have to use the Shadow Realm now, focusing on the support, but he's taking a lot of damage from Miero, just shadowing him with that uproar. Be able to blink out to the high ground. Another Shadow Realm is there, solo. His Eon Disc procs. Miero trying to find somebody to treat. They're going to find Planet. He dies. So just like that, 2 dead for LGD. Both have bought back now. 9Pandas in a pretty good spot, but remember, their lanes are pushing.
Yeah, they're getting
mid lane.
They're getting mega creeps in about 30 seconds if 9Pandas don't bring a hero back to base. So it might be what OD are banking on here.
And Ramsey's in the pit. They're going to take Roach extremely fast. There's a Shadow Realm again, doing massive amounts of damage. Not quite enough for the kill. Now being shadowed by Miero.
New is going for the megas.
He is indeed. They only have the Ranger expert now. The Shadow Realm now, and here he takes the RP all by his lonesome. Not the greatest thing for nothing to say. They will get the kill in the end. That's a dieback essentially for 2 minutes for no Rubik. Echo Stomp. Going to connect on much other than the Magnus. So double kill for Shiro. So they are finding kills in the backline. There's the second RP into the arms of Shiro. The hot dogs are too much to handle for 9Pandas. And Miero, oh yeah, blinks out thanks to the Eon Disc. Can they find him? Yes. First round with that shard activating as triple kill for Shiro. And Ramsey's attempting to TP out. He will do so, but only 2 alive for 9Pandas.
All right, this is
going to be a tough defense.
This is a knowledge game right now. If LGD are aware that there's no buybacks here, this game is probably just going to end in a moment. But they might not have kept track of this and know the exact timing of these buybacks. They do seem to want to go aggressive, but at the same time, Shiro is quite a bit away. Kiyotaka and Ramses could maybe find a quick first kill. Maybe that could set up for something.
Oh, man. Yeah. If they knew.
There's 50-second cooldown on the buybacks. If they don't, I mean,
they're going to try to force it regardless, even if they didn't know, right?
Yeah, but they might be a little bit hesitant about diving for kills that they can't get, right? So you're probably a little bit timid here. You'll get the megas,
We'll get megas.
but how are you going to go for the jump?
Gear 4 going down quickly as well, and just the Ancient exposed now as Ramses and Kiyotaka trying to defend 2 versus 5. Can they do it? I highly doubt it, but they're going to try. 40 half HP is the Ancient. Wait for him, and Ramses is going to get hexed right off the bat. And there's the Ancient seal called. The GGs are called as the Ancient gets destroyed. And LGD take game 1. The hot dogs reign supreme, Cinderin.
Yeah, they get there in the